Lightweight, lightweight, baby.
Hey, how's it going? This is Danny from Made of Metal and welcome. It's nearly here. Britain's strongest man under 80 kilograms 2023, happening on the 22nd of July at the Ansdell Arena in Lytham, St Anne's. What a competition, what a lineup. 18 lads fighting for a title that seems to have gained more and more importance over the last couple of years. And you could be there either in person or virtually. You can buy spectator tickets to Britain's strongest man under 80 kilograms at kaosstrength.co.uk. That's chaos with a K, no H. Or you can purchase the live stream through ADL Pro and watch the magic happen from the comfort of your own living room. So let's quickly run through the events that are going to be facing these athletes at this monster of a competition. We're starting off with a maximum log press, max event right off the bat, and with a twist. Little added incentive, there is a cash prize if anyone is able to set a new world record. Then the second event, we have an axle deadlift, 4 reps, 255 kilograms with a 60-second time limit. Then a max distance Husserfeld sandbag carry with a time cap of 90 seconds. Then we got the farmers, 125 kilograms per hand over 30 meters, 10 meter increments. We have a yoke into a sandbag load. That is a yoke that is 300 kilograms, carry 10 meters, run back, grab a 110 kilogram sandbag, carry it, load it over the yoke, then pick the yoke back up, return both implements to the start line. I know from experience that this is a brutal event. And we finish off this competition, this Britain's strongest man under 80 kilogram competition with the power stairs. Duck walk into power stairs, 3 implements, up 3 steps. So possibly tactically, quite a few of the athletes that are going to be at this competition have gone fairly quiet on social media, not posting up so many training videos. So picking favourites is a bit challenging. I mean, heaven forbid we have to go on previous competition performance, but we're going to do what we can. In this video, I'm going to go through event by event. I might pick out a couple of names that I expect to do fairly well. But because the events are the same for this competition and the Kaos Classic, which I am making a separate video about, the strategy, the tactics that I think will come into play for Brits, for the events at Brits, will also obviously apply to the Kaos Classic. So on that video, I'm probably going to focus a little bit more on the individual athletes. But this video, we're going to go through the events one by one, starting with that max log. So let's look at that max log. Now, we've got no Chris Harper in the Brits lineup this year. He is the current world record holder. And honestly, I am not sure we will see a new world record at this competition. This is the first event of 6. And I think the athletes will be more focused on the title of Britain's strongest man, making that podium, than setting the world record. I could be wrong. There may be 1 or 2 guys that are really focusing in on the log because perhaps they don't fancy themselves too much in the other events, but there's going to be some big numbers. We're probably going to see, there's going to be like between 120 and 130 from quite a lot of these guys easily, but I'm not sure there's going to be a world record today. For the axle deadlift for reps, you have to fancy the likes of Lewis Blackwood and Dean McVie. They have a proven track record in the axle deadlift event at Clash in the UK back in December 2022 with a 225 kilogram axle. They were synchronized, they were head to head lifting in synchronicity, and I think they both got either 13 or 14 reps, so I would expect them to do particularly well. We're a little bit heavier here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they reach double digits once again. But the likes of Liam McConville will be able to give them a run for their money. I think at the UKNS final just a month or so ago, Liam managed to pull a 220 kilogram axle barbell for 11 reps. And he took it personally that I overlooked him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlook him for this one again. Liam, I don't think you're going to do it. Prove me wrong. But again, I expect some strategy to come into play on this event. This is only the second event, and the upcoming events are very fatiguing, very draining. So why would you go harder than you absolutely need to? Do what you need to in the log to make sure you go later on in the deadlift, and then when it's your time to shine on that deadlift platform, you know how many reps you need to do to keep you in the running. Why do any more? Now, placing the max distance carry after the deadlifts is just nasty. And historically, Andrew Keys has been a lock to win this type of event. However, he fell short at the UKNS final. That doesn't mean I think he's out of the running. Perhaps it's eased some of the pressure because he would be front runner in the predictions to win these type of events for so long. Now that streak is over. Perhaps that's relieved some of the pressure. Perhaps it's lit a bit of a fire. He could still sneak in and take the win. But I think the key to this event is going to be a quick pickup. You don't want to be picking up the bag and wasting seconds jostling it into place. You want to be able to pick it up and go. So that's going to be the difference maker in this event, I believe. Continuing the streak of nastiness, you've just finished carrying that 135 kilogram sandbag on your chest for 90 seconds. Now you have to pick up handles weighing 125 kilograms each. That's 250 kilograms total, and carry it 30 meters over 10-meter increments. Tommy Chivers, he's been pretty active on social media, and he posted a video of him doing this very run in under 16 seconds. Now, I don't think you would play that sort of hand if you weren't very confident that you were going to beat that with ease on the day. However, that video would have been done on a training day. There wouldn't have been a max log. There wouldn't have been deadlift for reps. There wouldn't have been that max distance Husserfeld carry. Is he still going to make that 16-second benchmark? If it weren't for the events before, I'd say yes, but I'm not so sure. And I think this event in particular, some usually solid athletes, I think may make mistakes just because of the work they've put in before on those previous events. I hope I'm wrong. The yoke into sandbag, that's something that I've done before. It was at Clash in the UK, but it was a 260 kilogram yoke and a 100 kilogram bag. It was the two legs, and I can tell you from experience that final leg, that final carry of the sandbag was absolute murder. So I don't know what it's going to feel like with a 300 kilogram yoke and a 110 kilogram sandbag. Obviously, the strategy here will be you'll weigh up the options. You can have a lower yoke bar, which will make the pickup of the yoke and the carry of the yoke that much heavier, but will make the sandbag load easier. Or if you've still got the power left, you might keep the yoke bar where it is. If you've got the confidence, shoulder the sandbag, and then you can just pop it over. Dean was an absolute monster at this event in Clash of the UK. So he's, again, proven track record. There's no reason to think he won't do exactly the same at Britain's Strongest Man. And then to finish, we have the duck walk into power stairs. By God, these athletes on this weekend are going to be covering some mileage. It kind of reminds me of the tagline to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: who will survive and what will be left of them? Due to the social media blackout, this event is going to be very tough to call. I've seen some training videos of people with a duck walk on a step made out of a bunch of pallets. I've seen people training on actual steps. So I think this one is going to come down to those who have had time to practice on the actual equipment. And I know that Dean McVie has had access to those power stairs, so he could well take the win on this one. So who's going to do well? Let's take a look at some of the athletes. I am not going to go through all 18, so if I miss you out, I'm very sorry. It's not that I don't think you're going to do well. It's just, if I talk about everyone, I will be here until the competition itself. Tommy Chivers, the retaining champion, hasn't actually competed since Britain's Strongest Man last year? Is that going to be a help? Is it going to be a hindrance? I think many, including myself, overlooked him for that title win last year after he failed to make the podium at England's Strongest Man, the qualifying competition. So I think the break doesn't necessarily count him out of the podium or even the top spot. Dean McVie narrowly missed out on a podium spot at Britain's Strongest Man last year, but made the podium at the official Strongman Games 2022. He's the third strongest man in the world, and he is coming into this competition with fire. I'll be honest, I thought he might be stretching himself a little bit thin because he front-loaded the first half of this year with lots of different competitions. He was doing weight class competitions, powerlifting competitions, open weight competitions, but he seems laser focused on this competition, these events, and the Britain's Strongest Man title, and I think he may well do it. Adam Rumney is a late call-up to the competition this year, though a thoroughly deserving one. He put in a magnificent performance at England's Strongest Man, and I think with experience will climb the ranks. Now, this might be an intimidating lineup of athletes to jump in with, but there is no better place to gain experience, to gain knowledge, than surrounding yourself with the best athletes in the country. We were actually talking at England's Strongest Man, and he told me that in July 2021, he was laid up in a hospital bed, unsure whether he'd be able to train at all. And one of his big ambitions was to one day compete at Britain's Strongest Man under 80 kilograms, and well done. So I suppose we've got to. Let's talk predictions. This is very tough to call. I can see certain athletes excelling in certain events, but in a competition such as this, it's consistency. It's always consistency. It doesn't matter if you place first in one event. We've seen it time and time again. Just one bad event can have you sliding down the table. We've learned over the past 2 years that you have to pick at least one of the world's strongest twins to make the podium. Which one is going to do it this year? I picked Tim for England's, so I'm picking Joe for Brits. That's it. There's no more real reasoning other than that, because they're so close in talent. That's it. As I mentioned earlier, Dean McVie is coming in a ball of fire to this competition. He has got Britain's Strongest Man, he's got Europe's Strongest Man coming up, and he has got the official Strongman Games, and he wants the triple crown. I know it. He wants to stand on all three podiums. He wants to stand atop all three podiums, and I think this is the year that he's going to do it. Dean McVie is my prediction to take the title. And as I mentioned earlier, I overlooked Tommy Chivers for the title last year. I'm not entirely sure he is going to retain the title. I'm looking forward to egg being on my face, but I think he will still be on the podium. So those are my three picks. Let's put them in an order. Dean McVie, Joe Daglish, Tommy Chivers. Those are my three. I wonder how close I'll be. I'm a poet, I didn't know it. So there we are. What do you think? I mean, it's a stacked lineup of athletes. There are some names that didn't even get a mention. I mean, Kyle Scott's going to be there. He won the UK NS final. Matt Neese is going to be there as well. He came second. Tim Daglish. There's just too many. There's too many. This is why do I even bother competing in this weight class? It's just, I'm going down to the under 70s. I'll see you later. Once again, tickets to spectate are available through kaosstrength.co.uk, and you can purchase the live stream via ADL Pro. Be a part of this. Be a part of this weekend. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the hugest little guys doing the most amazing things. So be a part of it. I will be back soon with another video. I have been Danny from Made of Metal, aka Britain's Strongest Drummer, and I'll see you soon.